Hey guys, what's up? How y'all doing? I'm here to talk to you guys about the new episode of My Hero Academia Vigilantes on episode 6. This episode right here was actually pretty cool, and we got to know some nice origin story to who we known as the main as a villain in the My Hero Academia series, the main series, if anything else. So let's just get this started right away. We get to see Stendo going in action, taking or killing a couple Yakuza thugs, and then later on goes back to civilian. And as for the part-timer villain, she ends up having to cause some trouble to try to talk to Stendo, but leaves him alone. Later on, we get to see a couple pictures of who he's going to target next, which is Soga Kugizaki, Morio Toichi, and Rapto Tokage. We get to see that these three met each other in the hospital and figure out what to do next after what happened. As for Kugisaki, he ends up meeting the part-time villain and wants nothing to do with her anymore and just says, hey, just leave me alone. I don't want any trouble anymore, okay? See you later. But he ends up getting interrupted by Stendo, who ends up actually wanting to fight or kill him. By that time, we have to it that Kugisaki, the spike user, ends up getting ready to actually fight Stendo, even without the drug. So the girl ends up deciding to pitch in and give him the drug using her B quirk, and ends up turning him into a freakish spike monster, etc. And we get to know a little bit about Kugisaki's backstory, how he is usually a crazy guy with the villain quirk because he actually hurt someone by accident. I don't know. But later on, we get to see Koichi having to try to help out Kugisaki after he got slashed down by Stendo. And by that time, of course, Koichi ends up trying to run away with what should we call it? With Koichi tries to run away with Kugisaki on his back, but Stendo paralyzes him with his blood curdle quirk, which we all know where that quirk comes from if you watch the main series of My Hero Academia. And we get to see Knuckle Duster show up in time to face him, and eventually he actually tricked Stendo to go after him and ends up managing to one-hit KO him, punch with his Knuckle Duster, and breaking his face shield or his mask, and not to mention possibly his nose. We get to see how Knuckle Duster says that he puts on a mask and becomes someone else, and you run into guys like that now and then. They put on a mask or disguise and they've convinced them no longer their usual selves, that kind of thing. They think there's some unbeatable Superman. Guys like that are trouble because they ignore social mores, and they end up doing a lot of crazy stuff. And by that time, someone who's forgotten that ultimately doesn't have much resolve. We get to see Stendo having to paralyze Knuckle Duster for a bit and tells him, hey, thank you so much. I finally find out who's more wicked than the villains are without resolve who pretend. It's the freaking sham heroes or fake heroes. And therefore end up after thanking Knuckle Duster for enlightening him and paralyzing him, he ends up having to leave right away and says, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now I make my leave. Then we get to see Pop Step showing up to tend to Koichi, but he decides to tend to Kugisaki after he got injured pretty badly. They end up talking about how crazy Koichi is, but we have to it Pop Step's well, he's just he's just an idiot. That's just how he is. By that time, we get to see Stendo looking at himself in the mirror and realizes what he lacks, and therefore the part-time villain girl tries to talk to him about what he's trying to do, but he shuts her up by throwing a knife to her left eye with the eye patch on, and she ends up falling dead. Well, it looks like it. By that time, Stendo ends up having to cut off his own nose. He literally cut off his own nose to possibly make a point or to have a lot of resolve, whatever the situation he's trying to do. And he ends up realizing what his new goal is. He discarded his own false face and uncovered some real truth, etc. By that time, the girl who got a knife thrown her left eye, she ends up saying, well, what a narcissist, but you know what? I don't mind that though. We get to see she survived thanks to her bees protecting or stopping the knife that was aimed at her freaking left eye. So she goes this ought to be interesting. Looking forward to see how you turn out. Stendo or someone else, whatever his name gonna go by. But we all know who that guy is. The guy Stendo is actually staying. So unless you watch the main series of My Hero Academia series, yeah, that much I'll just say for now. But all I know is like Stendo realizes that he now has a new goal of what to do, and therefore gets ready to go into action and putting it into play. Then preview next episode is called Makoto or Truth, and looking forward to see how that goes, because it looks like to me we're getting a new character into play. So until then, I'll see you guys later. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day. I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace out. Bye bye. Ta-da!